I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian here on December 7th, Tuesday morning. And before we move into today's weather situation, let me note there is a posting right now on the home page and the historic events page on the Paraton Weather website regarding the weather surrounding the Pearl Harbor attack on this date in 1941, December 7th, 1941. Very interesting story. So if you have any time later today, take a look at that. With respect to the snowfall potential on Wednesday, it looks very limited indeed. We have a weak low pressure area to deal with, limited support in the upper part of the atmosphere, and not much moisture to work with either. This is the latest radar loop, and here's the area of moisture associated with a wave in the atmosphere that is moving from west to east. Again, we'll see in a moment here, the upper level disturbance just doesn't phase together, doesn't become a strong, a supportive wave of energy for a surface low pressure area, and the result is likely to be limited amounts of snow on Wednesday. We had a strong cold frontal passage across the eastern seaboard last night, even a narrow band of very heavy rainfall for a brief period of time crossed in northeastern Maryland, southeastern Pennsylvania, into New Jersey with 15-20 minutes of a downpour, and then that was followed by very strong northwesterly winds for several hours. Winds died down in the overnight hours, and there'll be very little wind today in the mid-Atlantic region as high pressure moves in. Well, let's now take a look at the 500 millibar vorticity field for tomorrow's system. First of all, it is situated right out in this part of the nation as we begin the day on Tuesday. A weak system here, and watch what happens as it comes east over the next 24 hours or so. This is by tomorrow morning. You can see it just gets rather stretched out. We talked about this yesterday, kind of a stretched out vorticity field. Would this consolidate with this upper level feature? That was the question over the past few days. Does not look like that will happen. This is now into Wednesday afternoon. You still have this initial wave now out ahead of a second wave over the Great Lakes, so it looks like there will not be a consolidation or a phasing of these upper level systems, and that will keep the surface low pressure area that will indeed form near the Carolina coastline early tomorrow on the weak side. With limited moisture, not much support aloft, looks like just a touch of snow for the mid-Atlantic region on Wednesday. Let's now move forward here, and we get a pretty cold, dry day on Thursday, and then it turns mild again. And by the time we get to the upcoming weekend, notice here this is the Friday morning forecast map. You're starting to see kind of a ridge popping up aloft here by Friday. Friday turns considerably milder than it will be on Thursday. And then by the time we get to Saturday, we have a strong ridge over the southeastern part of the nation, pumping up some really mild air into the eastern part of the nation on Saturday. It looks like temperatures could very likely go up into the 60s on Saturday afternoon for highs in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Will be a strong cold front approaching, associated with some shower activity, and maybe even some strong to severe thunderstorms will form this upcoming weekend out ahead of the next cold front that will be moving in from the west to the east. Well, let's now take a look at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. We do have cold air in place for snow in the mid-Atlantic region. The problem is we have a limited supply of moisture coming our way. Cold air followed that cold frontal passage early last evening, and temperatures dropped some 30 degrees from yesterday's highs in the low to mid 60s in much of the I-95 corridor region to the low to mid 30s by early this morning. Again, very gusty winds in the few hours following the frontal passage, but they'll die down quickly today if they haven't already as high pressure moves in. Cold air mass sits and spins around here for a couple of days here. It kind of reinforces itself in the mid-Atlantic region by the time we get to Thursday. So yes, tomorrow and Thursday will be cold days, but the low pressure area that could possibly have produced some accumulations looks quite weak for Wednesday. So even though whatever falls is likely to be in the form of snow, it will be rather minor event. Then we go into the end of the week. By the time we get to Friday, here we are, Friday morning, much milder conditions, especially on Friday across the Tennessee Valley, the Mississippi Valley, starting to jump into the mid-Atlantic region as well. Probably a jump of 10 degrees between Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon. And then by the time we get to Saturday morning, here we are, Saturday, very, very warm day. Don't be surprised if this is a record-breaking type of warm day on Saturday in much of the eastern third of the nation. Again, there will be a frontal system heading to the east from the middle part of the nation. Showers associated with it, maybe even some strong to severe thunderstorms will break out this upcoming weekend across the eastern half of the nation. Well, let's use the 0Z GFS model run to take a look at the upcoming weather situation. High pressure now edging its way into the mid-Atlantic region. That's the main reason why the winds die down in the overnight hours. And today will be winds only 5 to 10 miles per hour, much different than what we experienced yesterday and last night. A cold, dry day, although there will be some clouds, partly sunny skies. And here's the moisture associated with that weak wave in the upper part of the atmosphere, that stretched out vorticity max, and it can produce a touch of snow tomorrow in the mid-Atlantic region. Doesn't look like anything steady, anything heavy, maybe a coating in some areas, at best an inch. Some areas may not see any snow at all in the mid-Atlantic region on Wednesday. So yes, indeed, a weak system. The upper air disturbances do kind of phase together, but not until the low pressure area is well off the eastern seaboard, a little bit too late for the I-95 corridor region. And there is some snow all the way down into the Delmarva Peninsula at this time, from D.C. into the Delmarva Peninsula. And then that moves off the coast, and it looks like Thursday will turn out to be cold, dry day with little in the way of wind. And then look at this isobar pattern here. On the backside of high pressure, winds flow clockwise. So this will be from the southwest to the northeast. A lot of warming moves into the Ohio Valley on Thursday. Then that reaches the eastern seaboard on Friday. Again, maybe a 10-degree jump from Thursday afternoon to Friday afternoon in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. And then as strong low pressure forms over the middle of the nation, it'll turn even milder, way above normal, right in the eastern third of the nation on Saturday. High temperatures well up in the 60s in many parts of the mid-Atlantic region. Again, a strong cold front could have some showers and maybe even some strong to severe thunderstorms to watch out for this weekend ahead of that front, certainly in the Tennessee, Ohio, Mississippi valleys, and maybe even into the eastern third of the nation, the eastern seaboard area, later Saturday into Saturday night. Something we'll keep an eye on over the next few days. But a weak low pressure area produces a touch of snow on Wednesday in the mid-Atlantic region, following a cold, dry day today with very little in the way of wind. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.